Alright, this is from Dead Frog Studios. This is his programming. I am just showing what I learned from his excellent tutorial, extracting data from the DCSA-10, DCS World, and basically I'm going to try to go through the code a little bit here. You can see right now I've got DCS set up. I basically have done a quick mission that's going to have a lot of fighter aircraft and a lot of SAM sites so that we can get the missile launch indicator to go off as quickly as possible, as many times as possible, because that's what I'm going to extract based on Dead Frog Studios program. I'm going to try to extract the missile launch data, and whenever that gets set off, it should send a stream of UDP packets, which here's the UDP test tool I've downloaded, and I have set to port 65002. I have a bound to that, and basically when we go in and we modify the export Lua script, then it'll send out, create a socket, a UDP socket, and then just broadcast a bunch of UDP packets. And then on the loopback interface, which is basically the internal interface in your own computer, where instead of sending out over an Ethernet port to say another computer with the loopback interface, it's just being recirculated in your own machine. It's not going anywhere but in your own machine. So, I guess the first thing was to go to find the cockpit initiation script, which was under, let me see, it was under computer. Excuse me, I just did this, so I'm going to be slow. Program files, Eagle Dynamics, DCS World, mods, aircrafts, plural, nope, wrong one, aircraft, A10, and I think it was cockpit and scripts. Then scrolling down, main panel initiate, it's a Lua file, and I'm going to edit it with Notepad++, free program, you can download that. Don't use the regular Notepad like he said in the instructions, that'll screw it up. Okay, and then on the main panel you can go down to, in my case, I want to find that missile launch, and scrolling down, right here, I think it's in this, CMSC, there we go, missile launch, and I'm looking for this ID, 372, and that's what we're going to change in our export Lua file. We're going to need that ID because we're going to specifically target the launch, the CMSC missile launch indicator when it goes off. We want to know when it goes off. If it goes off, then have the Lua create a socket and then broadcast that the indicator is going on and off, on and off. So with that, then we need to find our export Lua file, which is let's see, there's computers. I have mine under my under users, and then it's in the save games, DCS, and scripts. Okay, you see I've made it. Okay, make a copy of it. I've got a copy, and then you can make your own a copy of the original file, and then saved it to the side, and then I made another copy that I can actually edit to add the code from Dead Frog Studios tutorial. So I'm going to open up that. Now I've already typed it out. Try to go through it line by line here. Okay, I think this was left over. But anyways, you want your host, type in your host, your local host IP address, which you can go to your command prompt, and you can type in ipconfig either by itself or with all. And just define, make sure to find your local IP address. Oh, yeah, where is it? Okay, here it is here on mine. I have my local area connection, Ethernet adapter, and 10002 is mine. Alright, so with that, you can enter that in your host equal to line. And then of course we're going to bind to port 65002 UDP, that says from the tutorial. And then you have your main panel line here is to get devices, I guess, from the main panel. I'm not an expert, I'm a beginner, so I'm going to F this up. But I'm just trying to give my general idea of what I think is going on. And then under the function export, Lua export start, when it starts up, we tell it that we're going to use the socket DLL dynamic link library. And also, I'm not sure what the Lua socket file is. I'm new to Lua. And then those two tell that we're using sockets. Okay, and then we create tell what socket class. I guess the socket class is what we're creating here. And we're telling it we're going to use an UDP. Alright, hold everything. I screwed this up. This is when I was working on wanted to export the data to a file from another tutorial. Sorry about that. And this is the main pane. Get rid of this too. Alright, now here we are. Alright, now this is the export Lua file that I made a copy of. It was basically empty, had these functions, nothing in it, and then I filled it in based on Dead Frog Studios tutorial. Alright, so basically it's the same thing we're going over, except that other file had some other crap in it. So like I said, get your local loopback address for the host, you know, the port. Then under Lua export start function, these two lines tell it that we're going to use in sockets. And then we define the socket class. Then this line, we create the socket. It's a UDP socket. Center options, I guess, is broadcast is for, like I said, broadcasting to anyone wants to listen to it, any port wants to listen to it. In this case, the only port that we'll set our listener, our UDP tool to is 65002, but I guess UDP broadcasts to all the ports. Whoever's interested can pick it up, have your timeout, and that's all in the export Lua start file. And then the export Lua after next frame. This part here, I don't know, I think that's left over from, doesn't have anything to do. I don't know what it does, but I didn't enter that. Anyways, the important next step is the Lua export after next frame. So it's going to broadcast, I guess, after each frame in the simulator. And here we get the local device for this line here, and then the value, which goes back to that ID for the missile launch, that 372. We enter this here because we want that missile launch value. So to paste like the other tutorial I did, I was getting the engine RPM, and it had a different ID, so I was entering that ID, and I wasn't using sockets. I was just sending data to a file, but I still needed that ID for the engine RPM. But like I said, in this case, it's the missile launch, so we're using 372. And then and this line is formatting the data, sending it out, I guess, as a decimal value. And then here we send the packet out the socket using the host here, which is we defined up here, and then our port, which is defined up here. And then that's it. And then the function Lua export stop closes, I guess, closes the socket, and that's about it. And then save it. Okay, so now let me see, we'll try and fly this again. Like I said, I have this set for a maximum fighter aircraft, maximum SAM sights, because I want that missile launch indicator going off as soon as possible. And I have the UDP test tool fired up. I have the local IP address set to my 10.0.0.2, and I've bound it to port 65.0.0.2 like we entered in our program. So hopefully, if this works, we should start seeing it picking up the packets that the export Lua file is sending out, broadcasting all the UDP packets over the network. My computer can barely handle DCS. Okay, there you go. There you go. It's already receiving. So we got missile launch indicator, and then we got the 30, ASCII 30 and 31 for the launch indicator light coming on and off, and it just keeps spewing it out continually. Now this you can take and you can apply either to your Arduino board like he has in his tutorial, or in my case I'm going to apply it to my own Atmel chip and firmware that I have programmed. But this is the bridge basically you need to get the data, start exporting it. We're going to get wasted pretty soon. Now I'm not sure, I just started doing this stuff, but in DCS, I'm not sure how to get some of the other data like chaff and flare. Maybe it's a different device. Like I said, I'm just a newbie at this. If anyone has ways of doing that, if they could post a tutorial, that would be great. Get more detailed, extracting more data from DCS. I thought I was going to get shot down, but I made it. Last time I got wasted. Anyways, that's pretty much the gist of it. There we go. It's spitting out more packets. When I get shot down, I'm going to hit a mountain. There we go. And of course in his tutorial he has it set up, Dead Fraud Studios, he has it set up for master caution, to read that data off the master caution. Alright, enjoy.